WDW Radio, your information station.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the WDW NewsCast. Today is Wednesday, March 23rd, 2011. I am Lou Mongello, author of the Walt Disney World Trivia Books, audio guides to Walt Disney World, and publisher of Celebrations Magazine. Be sure and join us every Wednesday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern at WDWNewsCast.com for a live interactive discussion about this week's Walt Disney World news. You can be part of the conversation live in the chat room, but if you can't make it, that's okay. You can watch and comment either on the YouTube channel at youtube.com/WDW Radio or by checking out the embedded video on the blog over at WDWRadio.com. Be sure and follow me also on Twitter. I'm twitter.com/Lou Mongello and join the Facebook page at facebook.com/WDW Radio. This week's show and every newscast is sponsored by our good friends over at touringplans.com. They are the research team behind the unofficial guide to Walt Disney World. There you can find a crowd calendar with the best parks to visit, the most crowded parks to avoid, wait times, fast pass times, touring plans, lots more. Listen, when you go to Walt Disney World, it's all about maximizing your time, getting the most value for your money in the parks. The best way to do it is at touringplans.com, and be sure and bring their Lines application with you to the parks. You can get it on your mobile device, your iPhone, your Android. It gives you fast pass times, distribution times, wait times, lots more. Again, visit everything over at touringplans.com. So for this week's newscast, I wanted to touch on one item specifically, somewhat more rumor than it is news, but it seems as though Walt Disney World is growing yet again. We talked in the past about the expansion of the property with the addition of a new value resort. The Art of Animation Resort is under construction right near Disney's Pop Century Resort. Well, it seems now that they're expanding on the other end as well, as there is a rumor, as it has not officially been announced by Disney, but there is strong evidence to suggest, and many news outlets have been covering the fact, that Disney's Grand Floridian Resort and Spa may be expanding. The resort opened back in 1988. It was modeled after the Hotel del Coronado in San Diego, California, but recent documents filed with the South Florida Water Management District in early March show plans for a major add-on coming to Disney's Grand Floridian. If you look at these plans here, you can see that a new three-wing building is planned to be built on a plot of land bounded by the resort to the north, Seven Seas to the east, the wedding pavilion to the south, and the monorail tracks to the west. I have another shot here where you can see a little bit closer, and what I've done was I wanted to show you by color coding just some of the additions and changes that are coming. You can see that the building, which is in purple, is going to be connected to the Grand Floridian main building monorail station by a covered walkway. That is in red. Now, if you notice, the monorail station and the monorail route is in green. The red covered walkway does go next to the monorail, but it does not appear to be a new stop. It doesn't appear that there's a platform there. It just sort of curves around the building. A lot of speculation when this was leaked online as to whether or not there would be a monorail station here. What you can see also, if you look closely, and what I'll do is I'll put a link to where you can download this in the notes over at WDWRadio.com. They are going to alter the shoreline of the Seven Seas Lagoon. That's going to allow for more property with a view of the water. In addition to the new building, there's also going to be two new parking lots between the Grand Floridian Health Club and Floridian Way, 125 spaces for the new building, and 111 spaces for the gated wedding pavilion. Now, what is also very interesting about this, and again, we've heard nothing from Disney, they have refused to comment to this point, is whether or not this will be a DVC, a Disney Vacation Club Resort. Rumors online, again, they are just rumors, is that the Disney Vacation Club will take ownership of a portion of the existing Grand Floridian, and that this will be a DVC resort as well. If you remember, they did that when they opened Kidani Village over at Disney's Animal Kingdom. They did take part of Jambo and take part of Animal Kingdom, make that a Disney Vacation Club resort. Now, Disney in the past has kept these very, very quiet, obviously not wanting to cannibalize sales on existing things. If you remember, Bay Lake Tower was never really acknowledged until about 2 years after construction started, so it's not really sure when we might hear if this is really a go and what it's going to be. Disney is currently selling Disney Vacation Club units in Bay Lake Tower, Animal Kingdom, and Saratoga Springs, as well as Aulani, which is out in Hawaii. It's expected that Bay Lake Tower will sell out before the end of the year. If that happens, we may hear from Disney if, in fact, this is true, and if, in fact, it is a Disney Vacation Club resort. There's more than 475,000 DVC members that I'm sure would be very happy if this was, in fact, a DVC. Now, what I want to hear from you, and this is why I like these interactive chats, is what do you think about, A, the expansion of this resort? Is this one of the resorts you'd like to see expanded? And 2, what about the possibility of it becoming DVC? There were rumors years ago that the Polynesian was going to be expanded. A lot of people in the chat room already saying they would rather have the Poly be expanded. I know some people were saying, well, is this going to be another high-end, expensive, especially for DVC point-wise, something that's a little bit too expensive regarding point values? There was also a rumor, really probably 6 months ago, about another planned DVC resort possibly coming to Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, sort of the old Buffalo Junction idea, that Wild West town thought and theming coming to a DVC resort. We have never heard of that really again since late October. So I'm wondering, for those people who are in the chat room right now and who may be watching online, if you are DVC members, do you like this idea? If you're not DVC members, do you like the idea of an add-on to the Grand Floridian? And if it is DVC, is this something that might entice you to join DVC at all? A lot of people would say they would rather see it in Fort Wilderness. Mark is saying, what if they built a value resort on the monorail resort line? That's probably tough, because obviously being on the monorail resort line is very much a selling point, and you do pay a premium to have that access on the monorail to the Magic Kingdom. Dragon Alley says all the monorail resorts can be expanded. They are her favorites. D Beach Girl says also rather see it as a Polynesian. Mickey Waffle says it wouldn't entice me to join DVC because it probably would be way too expensive being the Grand Floridian. But then Solo at Disney is going to need more points. James Disney Nut says too many points. Again, complete speculation as to A, whether or not this is going to be built, B, if it's DVC, and again, C, what those point values might be. You guys being DVC members certainly know how the point system works better than anybody. Tony Caggiano says Bay Lake Tower is more points, but definitely thought that it was worth it. Cortini agrees, likes Bay Lake Towers as well. Miko PRG says, I'd like Grand Floridian to split a stay with Bay Lake Tower. So now as DVC, you have more options. You have more options to stay, again, in a place that you guys didn't have access to before, which was that monorail resort line. Bay Lake Towers is beautiful. Some people might like the theming, the location, whatever it might be, even the beaches over at the Grand Floridian Resort and Spa. Dragon Alley also saying Bay Lake Tower is best and nice. What about a path to the Magic Kingdom? Irene, I think if you're looking for a walking path, there is no walking path from the Grand Floridian to the Magic Kingdom. There was the Walk Around the World bricks years ago. Sort of a misnomer because the path actually does not make a complete circle. It is actually a pretty long walk if you were to try and actually walk from the grounds of the Grand Floridian all the way around to the Magic Kingdom. They don't really have right now access via the pathway because of the monorail and the boat launches. Beth in Michigan says they're trying to put the DVC resorts into value, moderate, and deluxe within the DVC points needed to stay at the various resorts. Kissing Me Kathy says, wonder what the theme would be for the villas, wonder what they would look like. Interesting point. Will it be themed exactly to the Grand Floridian? Is it going to have that same sort of Victorian style theme? Disney Geek Dad is just sorry he didn't buy DVC years ago. Now he just would rather come down and live closer to Walt Disney World. if for those of you who are DVC members or who are thinking about DVC members, where would you like to see, if this isn't it, where would you like to see another or the next DVC resort? A lot of people were saying the Polynesian was one that they like. Disney Travelator is asking, is the Grand Floridian kid-friendly? Absolutely. Certainly it's positioned as more of an upscale resort, and it is, but there's still lots of things for kids to do there. There is a kids club there where my kids have actually stayed, really enjoy. There's a 24-hour grab and go at Gasparilla's. There is character dining there. There's a Perfectly Princess tea party. There's a beach, a very well-themed pool. So certainly very, very kid-friendly. Again, too, you also have that proximity to the Magic Kingdom, which instantly makes it very kid-friendly. When you want to come back and take a nap, being a boat ride or a monorail ride across from the Grand Floridian certainly makes it very easy. Thaddeus Toad is asking, where would they put it at the Polynesian? Because it would have to be so far from the Great Ceremonial House. Again, convenience being an issue there. Wondering here, too, is there going to be a separate lobby for check-in, or are you going to have to check in at the Grand Floridian and then walk, again, via that covered walkway over to the new building, which you can see here in purple. You can also see the parking lot in purple and the new access road coming in there. That red is the covered walkway. The green is the monorail route. You can see in yellow is the existing location of the wedding pavilion, which is not going to have any obstructed view of the Magic Kingdom, but part of it will obviously have a view of the new T-shaped building, which, again, because of the location, because of the design of the building, is going to have a lot of rooms facing the water and certainly facing the Magic Kingdom as well. Yeah, I know I keep turning away because I'm using two computers. Sorry. I would love to hear, again, more discussion going on further about this idea. You know, is this something that gets you excited when you see the fact that they're adding to the Grand Floridian? Whether it's DVC or not, does it get you excited? Either A, that they're expanding, B, that they're expanding on the monorail route, or even if it is a DVC resort, do you like the fact that they're expanding the opportunities and the availability for Disney Vacation Club properties? Remember, you guys can start booking 11 months or 7 months out, depending if it's your home resort. You now are going to have another option, if in fact this is a Vacation Club resort, to actually be able to stay at. TTA Rider would love to see DVC over at Riverside. I think a lot of people like that because of the location and the theming there. Love Disney Dogs asking, is there going to be a new restaurant? There was nothing, obviously, in the plans that we've seen because it's just sort of an aerial view, not specifically of the building itself. We don't know, is there going to be a new restaurant there? You know me, for one, loves to see that whenever and wherever possible. Mark Vitek says, I like the idea of a Florida resident resort should be explored. Special resorts just for Florida residents. Start with one at Port Orleans. Interesting concept. Another one for French Quarter DVC. Another vote from Andre over in the UK, voting for DVC at Riverside as well. Crisby says she would have preferred Disney just build a whole new deluxe resort with a new theme, Venetian, Oriental, Mediterranean, etc. We all would love to see some of those original concepts coming back. It's space around the Seven Seas Lagoon and Bay Lake being at a premium, especially what is actually buildable, because there is area by the Grand Floridian. They did sink some pilings, and when I say sink, they literally just sunk and were never seen again. So the actual buildable space on there right now is somewhat at a premium. Kissing Me Kathy, love to see something more moderate or value. Remember, Art of Animation Resort is coming in on the low end, on the value side. We have something else coming in here for the guests who are looking, again, for that premium experience. But again, all this is speculation because we've seen nothing but a proposed blueprint that was put out online, that was filed with Orange County. I would love, again, to continue this discussion. I want you guys to think on this a little bit more. The idea of this new deluxe resort, the possibility of DVC. And again, if it is DVC, is this something that might entice you to buy? Or if you are existing DVC already, would you buy more points? And who knows, maybe Disney's listening. Maybe Disney is still listening and may just alternate what they're going to do. So Cortini would like to see a Princess Resort. Mike Scabetta makes a great point. Don't think you'll ever see DVC at a Value Resort. I think you're right, Mike. I think they are each positioned very, very differently. Certainly the Value Resorts versus DVC, possibly targeting different audiences there. So Crisby makes a point. Disney needs to step up their services and amenities at deluxe resorts to make them comparable to actual deluxe resorts and the prices that they charge. Some people have said Grand Floridian is the flagship, but is it comparable to some of the true 5-star resorts? Maybe not. Maybe that's why we may see a Four Seasons built over by Golden Oak in the near future. So again, we're going to continue talking in chat even after we cut off the broadcast. Please come by either WDWRadio.com. I'll embed the video there, or go to YouTube.com/WDWRadio. Talk some more about the idea. I'll also put a link to both the original and the colored-in images of the blueprints. Give you a chance to look on it, think about it a little bit more. Let me know what you guys think. Again, thank you to everybody who joined in the chat room tonight. If you are watching on YouTube or on WDW Radio, or if you are listening to the audio in iTunes, be sure and come by every Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. We broadcast either from the studio and oftentimes from Walt Disney World. So come by, be part of the discussion live in the chat room, and again, continue the conversation later on. Thanks again to our sponsor, touringplans.com. Go check out their blog, their crowd calendars, everything including lines offered at touringplans.com. Thanks to all of you for taking the time out of your evening to watch and or listen. I am Lou Mongello. This is the WDW Newscast. So until next week, see ya.